Sorry, I've not got a lot of memory in my camera, so I have to keep them brief. I was saying about our shared experiences with my sister. So unfortunately, because it was with my sister, so it wasn't just me alone, it can't have been our imaginations. If it's just you, you think, oh, okay, maybe it's just in my head. But if somebody else is with you and they see it too. But anyway, so we just ignored that. And we got a little bit older. So maybe about a year later or so, my older sister moved out. And I decided I wanted my own room. And because I was getting a bit older, so I went into my mum's room. Charlie went into the smallest room, because there's 3 bedrooms, and my mum went into our bedroom. And now my mum's room is like minus 1,000 degrees all the time, regardless of the season. Now, part of that is because she always leaves the window open and likes to have the radiator off. But it was still, regardless of anything, it was still always so cold and really creepy. Me and Charlie never went in there. I don't know why, but we just got the spooks in there. But because I wanted my own room and I didn't want the smallest room, I went into my mum's room. And I got all my stuff in there, settled in, and I thought, yay, and made it all nice and pretty. Until it got to night time. Lights switched off, but I always had the door open with the hall light on. And I would try to go to sleep. And every single night, I would hear footsteps in the carpet walking towards me, walking towards my bed. And I would look, be nobody there, couldn't see anything, so I would try to ignore it, try to go back to sleep. But this happened every single night and I just couldn't cope. It was just, literally just as if somebody was walking towards my bed. I could hear it so clearly and so loudly in the carpet. So it got so bad to the point where I couldn't hack it, and I brought my mum in and I said, Mum, I just keep hearing these footsteps all the time. It's every single night. So my mum, being my mum, said, well, just tell them that you're scared and to go away. And I was like, tell who? What? Still at that age I didn't want to grasp the fact that dead people were walking around our house. And inevitably, I had to move out. I had to go back into the big bedroom. My mum went back into her room, and that was that. I just couldn't hack it. Every single night, I would hear these footsteps, and they would start in the corner of the room where the wardrobe was, next to the window, and diagonally come towards me every single night. Just covered in goosebumps just thinking about it. It was so gross and just absolutely petrifying. And to this day, I still hate my mum's room. I won't go in there. So anyway, that was my childhood. Like I said, we had experiences, so we did believe in it because it happened, but we didn't want to believe in it. That was the difference. So anyway, I grew up, went to college, went to university, studied design at Liverpool, which was fantastic. Made a ton of friends. After that, pretty much went travelling, which is the biggest thing in my life. I love exploring, going everywhere. I've got a map of my screen for my screensaver because I just love maps. I love countries and different cultures and different foods and different everything. The first places I went to were the Greek islands. I was a dancer. I danced for this big swing called the Sky Surfer. I danced on the scaffolding, holding it together for 2 hours every night. That was hilarious. I sang in a karaoke bar. I did the PR work where you just hand out flyers for restaurants and things like that. I went all over the Greek islands. I worked in a school in Bahrain in the Middle East. I did that for 6 months. I did a year in Indonesia teaching, and then I ended up hearing about South Korea, and on and off since 2008 I've taught and lived in South Korea, and I'm here now. This is my home from home. I think I'll always be here, to be honest. I love going back to the UK. I miss my family. We're very close, especially my mum. Yeah, I just love being in a different country. There's just something about being a foreigner in a different country that I love. I love being the odd one out and, you know, all that jazz. And South Korea is amazing, especially where I live. It's surrounded by mountains and streams and quaint little temples and all sorts. It's just gorgeous. I love it here. I love the food and the people. I can speak a little bit of Korean, but not as much as I should do for the amount of time I've been here, which is a bit embarrassing, but I get by. But anyway, so how I started off making these videos is just unreal. Given that my entire life I've hated the paranormal. I've been absolutely scared to death of it, simply because of the experiences I had as a child, and I made the mistake of watching Poltergeist when I was younger, which scarred me for life. Also Jaws, so I'm scared of sharks. But there is literally no explanation why I did what I did. I woke up one morning and instead of putting on my usual cartoons in the morning, I'm an artist. That's what I do out here. I'm a digital artist and I do some design work as well. So I got up, and instead of putting on my cartoons, I've got Netflix and I watch all the Pixar movies and things like that. I put on YouTube and I scrolled down. You know the recommendations that they somehow know you know. There was this channel called Haunted Finders, and I put it on. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. I literally have no idea. If you know me, you know I would never watch anything like that. But for some bizarre reason, this particular morning, I woke up and I pressed play and I started watching this program. And I watched it all the way through and I thought, okay, I don't actually feel too scared about that. So I woke up the next morning and did the same. Found the Haunted Finders programs, selected another video of theirs and watched it. And I found myself doing this every morning. I had no idea why. So it got to the point where it was night time and I'd wrapped up doing my artwork for the day and it was relatively dark, and I picked up my camera and put my video on and just started filming my apartment, because I can sense things, I can feel things all the time. Like I said, I've put it to the back of my head, I have done my whole life, but I always sense things, I always feel things, I can always see things, but I just always ignored it. So I could sense that there was something in my apartment, and after watching these programs, again, no idea, just started filming my apartment. And because there's like an automatic light on your camera, I could see these white circles just slowly going by and past. And I had no idea what they were. So I stopped recording and I Googled white objects floating around. And this thing came up about orbs. And hadn't got a clue what they were, read about what they were, and found out that they could potentially be spirit energies that form in the shape of a globe, a circle. So I thought, okay, that's interesting. Could that potentially be what I'm seeing in this video? So I uploaded it to my Facebook and I got 2,000 views with people commenting saying these are orbs, so what I'd Googled. And I was like, what the, this is weird, this is really weird, because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about any terminology of paranormal, anything, completely clueless. And so after I put this video on, I started filming more and more and uploading and getting all these comments saying, bloody hell, you know what's going on in your apartment. And so I started like watching more of these paranormal programs, Ghost Adventures and the Dead Files and things like that. And I was always at the back of my mind thinking, what am I doing? Why have I done a complete 360 in my life and watching these programs? I have no idea why I've started doing this. And I just continued to do it. And I really can't give you an answer why I've done this. And I rang my mum and I told her what I was doing, what I was watching. And she was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, no, and I don't know why. And so I started looking into more things because I do sense things, I do feel things. I've always been able to, particularly with my younger sister, be able to tell what she's going to say before she even says it. Be able to feel what she's thinking or feeling emotionally and things like that. And I was doing that at school as well, at high school. I knew when a teacher was going to pick me to answer a question before they even did it. I knew it. I just felt things all the time. But for some reason I just ignored it, just thought, oh, whatever, you know. So if I met somebody new or anything like that, straight away I can pick up whether they're a good person or somebody that I shouldn't really get involved with, and all this kind of crazy stuff that I just couldn't explain. I never researched it, never went into it. I was telling my mum about this, and she was like, well, you know, you are intuitive and you do have a gift and all this. And I was like, well, I don't know. And I thought, maybe this is just a weird way or time in my life where I'm just suddenly embracing it and just accepting the fact that this is who I am. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't explain it. But anyway, so I got to this stage where I downloaded a couple of apps on after I'd done a ton of research, because I was completely clueless. And I downloaded a spirit box, an EVP and an EMF. And I did all these videos and things like that, and just really started at the bottom, because apps are, you know, they're 99% of the time not real. But I wanted to start at the bottom because I was just getting into it all and just starting out. So I did all these videos, and just my reactions are just all the way through. But I'm not going to put them public. I have put them public before now, but I've decided that they're not worth it, because they're not really real. But what I'll do after this, these videos, is I'll put some just pictures of these videos that I did. And it's got to the point now where I got the necrophonic, and I've gone to graveyards and done all sorts, and I've really just really done a 360 with this whole paranormal thing. I'm completely into it all now. I've joined groups on Facebook. I'm constantly looking at YouTube videos of ghostly encounters and things like that, and UFOs, and learning all about the terminology and different types of entities and all sorts. And I'm 100% into it now, which is absolutely redonkulous. But here we are. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. You know a little bit about me now. The playlist is of, well, I'm going to do lots of different videos, but the one I've got public now is the necrophonic one, and I think it's really good because it's responded to things that I've said. My other apartment was, before I moved into this one, was full, absolutely chock-a-block of activity. I saw 4 different entities there. So anyway, you can see it if you want to look at the playlists, and I'll continue to make them as well. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask away. I have done a reading already of somebody on Facebook, and they said I was very good. Like I said, I'm very intuitive. I get all these feelings and premonitions about things. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, and take care. Bye.